Yo. Good people, welcome back. It's about time. Today's episode is a special one. Some people feel like they don't have voices. Some people have messages that they want to convey to others. I got my girl Jasmine Williams here. And her story, it's a tough one, but it's a courageous one. And the information she's gonna provide is gonna give us all an inside look at, it's just gonna show us how you can never judge a book by its cover. Although some people are smiling on the inside, I messed that up. Although some people are smiling on the outside, they're hurting on the inside. So check on your friends, check on your family, check on the people you haven't talked to in a while, because you never know what they're going through. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to my commercial break. And when I come back, I'll be talking to Jasmine. Remember, it's about time.
Hi, I'm Delane Myers, and I'd like to announce today that PVAMU University has accepted the challenge to solve a real problem, food security. Together, we will spearhead an effort to cure poverty and hunger. Stay tuned for more exciting news.
Good, how are you?
You went through something,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to talk to the people about it. Go ahead.
Let me see how I can start this off. On April 21st, 2018, I was raped. Well, let me put it like this. I was sexually assaulted in my dorm room by someone that I knew. When it happened, I was kind of like confused. It didn't process right. I was like, no, I know this didn't happen. But it did. So I was like, okay, what's the next thing I should do? So I remember calling two of my friends and went to another friend's house, and then we went straight to the police station. It didn't take long. They did what they were supposed to do because I was dealing with female officers, but as the time progressed, it got weird because the officer working my case was like super standoffish. They wouldn't give me any callbacks. They wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. And then when it came time for me to do my advocacy, to do crime victims compensation, I had to go through an outside source. So by the time July came around, he called me and my mom and said I wasn't supposed to go get outside help. I was supposed to go through him. Now, with that being said, how am I supposed to get help with somebody who's not helping me? I don't know. But I was just like, okay, whatever. Then he posed the question, how would you feel if this person came back to campus? And I was just like, what are you talking about? So it was a strain, but I think what kept me up with my grades during the summer sessions of 1 and 2, I maintained all A's. And especially trying to do psychology classes because I'm a minor in psychology. I'm learning about what I'm going through at the time and how to cope with it, what my mechanisms are, and how to cope with it. So all of that was just I didn't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm. Was this your boyfriend or somebody you was talking to?
Somebody that I was acquaintance with, I was cool with.
So after that happened,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't know if it really happened. It was a shock.
Mm-hmm.
So what, did you feel like it was easier to go to the police or just push it under the rug and let it just ride out?
It would have most definitely been easier to push it under the rug because knowing that if I have to come, this is supposed to be the people that protect and serve me on this campus and outside of this campus. If y'all aren't helping me doing this, then why would I even go forward and do what else would I need to do because y'all not doing y'all job that you're supposed to be doing? So I felt like if I just would have let it slide, I probably would have been in a better predicament with that part. But mentally, I probably would have been still suffering.
So mentally, what was your mindset over that period of time?
I was depressed. I was suicidal at the time. I was really angry with myself, and I was angry with God, and that's when I knew that it had to be something changed. That something had to change because me being angry with God is something that didn't need to happen. But I feel like, why did you put me through this after you know that I had a similar situation with my other friend that had this going on at another school, and I felt bad about this. So I was like, But I think when I made the phone call to the suicide hotline, I got a little bit better because I still go to therapy. I still have my therapist. I still talk to her all the time. And that's something that I needed because who else was going to be there besides my parents? Nobody. So that was that.
So how did that affect your relationships? Some that you had at that time and the ones going forward?
What affected? Okay, I put it like this. Because this situation happened, the people that was supposed to be in my life are still here, and the ones who wasn't meant to be aren't here. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that, but I'm not grateful of the circumstances of how it happened. Because I have to understand this is like a roadblock that had to progress me into being Jasmine now from being Jasmine my sophomore year. So in moving forward, it's an open conversation that I can have, because even going forward with relationships with other men, if I choose to go forward with that, I can let them know, hey, I'm uncomfortable with this, that, and the third because of this. And it's not like what's wrong with you? And why you like this, why you like that? I can have a conversation about it. My friends have always been supportive. They're always here, and they're more of a sensitive type of people because of what happened. So I feel like they're really overprotective. Everybody that's around now is really overprotective.
Okay. So at what point did you say, all right, I'm not going to let this define who Jasmine is. I'm going to get my strength back. I'm going to get my life back. I'm not going to allow this to overtake who I am to become.
When I see my grades from the summer, and knowing that I can even prevail with what I had going on and still maintain good grades, that's what I knew then. Like, who is this man? He's not even in school. He can't do nothing right now. But I'm still here, progressing, going forward, about to graduate next year. So that's when I knew then. And I had the conversation with my mom to continue to keep doing breaks, doing some summer school and doing winter classes over break, so I can just go ahead and get out of here. That's what really had me going forward. Oh, and my positions on e-board and on e-committees on campus. And since I'm such an active person on campus, and since I'm striving to become a prosecutor and a defense attorney, or whichever one that God leads me to, that's what like held me going on, because it's other people who don't know how to speak up. So I have to be that person to speak up for everybody else.
Talking about speaking up, there are instances where people who speak up are lying for whatever reason. And now that you have gone through this situation, what is your feelings toward people who either make light of this situation or use it as a way to get back at somebody else?
I don't take it lightly at all, because so many people have made a light of it and make jokes of it, and it's not funny. Because like I said, it was a point in time where I wanted to kill myself. That's selfish. I was gonna go to hell anyway because that's a sin. Not trying to get religious or anything, but it doesn't matter to anybody until it happens to their loved one or their sister or their cousin or their brother or anybody, or themselves, because you won't understand how I'm feeling, because you don't have to go through it. And whoever lies about it needs to get beat up, probably. Or go to jail. Go to jail is the same amount of sentences as a person who is a serial rapist, because it's nothing to lie about. That's not funny.
Because you can potentially ruin somebody's life
exactly,
with a false accusation. Got you. So we were talking before the show, and you told me you used to be a communications major, but now you're a criminal justice major. So what made you make that transition and say, all right, because you were saying how when you saw your friend going through, you was like, okay, somebody needs to stand up for people who are going through this. So what made you make that decision?
I think because we were so close, seeing how hurt she was, because this was not her fault, is what made me have the transition. And my mom always told me you be kind to others and others be kind to you. And that has took me a long way, even through Prairie View before I transferred here. That's one of the main things that I keep in mind. So making that transition and understanding that it's people who are in worse situations, who is in worse situations than me, who will be in worse situations than what I ever would be, makes me strive more and made me want to make that transition, because of the fact that it's not going to be people out there who looks like me, who are women like me, that can help the next woman, because nobody's going to take help from somebody who doesn't look like them. That's what made me make that transition.
Gotcha. So Jess, I've known you for a minute. And I never knew any of this had taken place, because you're always upbeat. You always project a smile. So did you find that easier to do, to not per se fake the happiness, but to put on that cloak of armor than to just deal with what was going on?
That was hard.
It was?
It was hard because it would be like, I'll be doing something and I'll space out, or I'll start daydreaming and it'll be like, what's wrong? And I'll start crying. And it was difficult because no matter where I would start crying. I'll be in class crying, school, home, work, crying. I can't always do that, so I had to just deal with the circumstances. It had to take that hard pill and swallow it instead of walking around pretending to be happy when I'm not.
Okay. So there's a lot that goes into the process. So what is, if you can talk about it, what has been the hardest part about, is it having to reveal this over and over again? Because you kind of have to give testimony and you have to recount what happened. Has that been the toughest part of this for you?
The toughest part was when I was dealing with the specific officer I was dealing with. That was the hardest part, because I know by paper and by step by step, I was doing everything that I needed to do right, and it still wasn't get done, and I didn't have any other options because nobody else reached out to me. This is my first time dealing with this, and I pray to God it's my last time, but why am I going through this with y'all, and I did nothing wrong. That was the hard part. And then the change of emotions at the time, it was just so fast, I couldn't catch up. So it'll be like, I'll be depressed like this, and then something will happen, I'll be pissed off. And I'll be extremely pissed off. And that was another hard thing, because I'm not a pissed off person. I'm usually, like you said, an upbeat person, always smiling, happy. So that was one of the hard things.
So tell me this, how do you see Jasmine? Because some people see themselves as victims, some see themselves as crusaders, a voice of the voiceless. What, now that this is happening, now that you've gotten over it, now that you've gotten your groove back, who is Jasmine?
Jasmine's not a victim, for one, because if Jasmine was still a victim, Jasmine would be still at home. Jasmine is probably, I wouldn't say a hero. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I just know that Jasmine is the person who's going to bring awareness through her organizations and her future endeavors when she goes on through law school, through Finish Prairie View, through everything, because this is why I'm here. God ordained me to tell my story, and this is what I'm going to do. That's all I have. I don't know what Jasmine is right now.
Okay, so what will be your focus once you get into law school and eventually go on to become a lawyer? What will be your specific focus?
Children. Because even though I was 18 at the time, and Prairie View tells us that we're grown when we're 18 and stuff like that, because people don't have parents like I do, like mothers like I do, grandparents, all of that, my focus mainly will be on children who have to deal with this at a younger age and going forward, because that's very detrimental to everything that they have going on. So that would be my main focus, and just to make sure they're in a healthy home and they're in a safe and comfortable home. Not saying I want to do social work, but to just make sure, to place them somewhere house and put the person who did this in jail for a very long time. That's what I feel like I should do.
So what? You've always been keen to helping people. Okay, so what were you gonna do had you stayed on the communication path?
I don't know. I wanted to be a sports analyst, which is something that's totally different from what I'm doing now, or what I want to do. I don't know. I feel like if I stayed on the communications path, I would have made awareness through this show, through social media, through all of my platforms that I have. That would have been what I've been doing. But as far as like a career, I'm not for sure.
No.
I'm not for sure.
So you're still in therapy. How's that helped you? Because most people don't, want to go that route.
It's helped me a lot, and that's one of the biggest problems that I feel like we have in our community now. Everybody just says that we're supposed to pray all the time, family supposed to be there, but that's why I appreciate my mom so much, because she was like, okay, I understand that you need therapy, and I don't have a problem with it. You do what you need to do to make yourself better. That's why they go to school, they get degrees, and they have all of these accolades to help you. So me still being in therapy, it has been a major help, because she has taught me so much about myself, about the things that I can do to cope when I'm angry, when I get sad, when I get depressed, when I'm just in one of my moods, when I feel like I can't do anything. I go back to what she tells me to, and I do it. So it's like, she's here, and it's for free too. Girl, I can do all of that. All of that.
So just sitting here having the conversation with you, I can just see the light beaming still. You know what I'm saying? It didn't get extinguished. It didn't get exterminated. You're still the Jasmine that I know. So what advice would you give to people who may feel like their light's dimmed out?
For starters, let me move my hair so I can hear me right. For starters, you remove anybody in your life that is not helping you move forward with any situation that you have, especially something that's as traumatic as what I had going on. When you have negative people in your life, you're going to be negative. And soul ties are real to me. I believe in all of that. So when I had to separate myself from certain people, I've never been better. My grades got better. My skin done cleared up. All of that. So I just feel like you position yourself in the way that you want to move. You position yourself with people who see better in you. And that's what I had to do. So that's what. And don't be scared to say what you need to say. I'm a very opinionated person, and y'all should probably know that, because I'm always saying stuff on Twitter about what y'all need to be doing, what y'all shouldn't be doing. And I feel like, who's going to stop you from saying anything? Nobody. But as long as you listen, because you have 2 ears and one mouth, then you can do whatever you need to do. So that's it.
So we know life hits you with curveballs, and we know things happen. You went through one of the most traumatic situations that a woman could ever have to deal with. No, and you've come through looking great.
Thank you.
So let's just say life comes again, and it's not as traumatic. Do you feel like you are equipped to handle anything now?
It's like literally nothing else can be worse, except when I pray to God nothing happens this soon. Besides my mama passing away, it's nothing else that can really just be like, oh, well, this happened, so okay, but this happened in April, so what else you got for me? So that's how I feel.
You know what? And this leads me to one of my favorite quotes. And God works in mysterious ways. This is just a beautiful thing. You ever heard of The Undertaker? He said a beautiful quote. He said, there's no shame in going out there and fighting and getting your ass kicked. But there's no honor in not fighting at all. And you fought. And you fought hard. And you're here. That's the beautiful thing about it. Because so many people who go through what you went through, they distance themselves. They take their own lives, and because they feel like there's nothing else to live for after that. Their family, may get distant. People who they felt should be in their lives get distant. And you had no problem eliminating the people who weren't pouring life back into you. So what do you think is Do you think that had a more positive impact letting them people go, or did it really kind of mess you up at the time because you wanted those people in your life?
At the time, it messed me up, but knowing that if I knew what I knew then, where I would be right now, it wouldn't have bothered me as much because I depended on them to make me happy, and I wasn't making myself happy at the time. That's what made it even worse. And then I had to realize, like, okay, y'all not here, so who's gonna be here? Myself. Who's gonna love me better than y'all? Myself. So that's what I had to learn. And it made a really big positive impact. Like I said, my grades are good. I'm not worried about what the next person is doing because as a big-hearted person, I tend to lose what Jasmine needs to do to focus on everybody else. And they took advantage of that. And I wasn't finna have that no more. Like, somebody took advantage of me, so no. So it was fine. I'm good.
Jasmine, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing. You really opened up my eyes, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to check on some people after the show because I just feel like we need to do more of that. We wait on people to come check on us, and we wait for them to open up when we should kind of meet them halfway because we never know. So I thank you.
You're welcome.
I commend you, and I'm praying for you.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great show. When I come back, I'm going to give you my closing remarks. And remember, it's about time.
At Prairie View A&M University, we've been igniting passion in students for more than 140 years. It's about inspiration. It's about global influence. It's about self-expression and individuality. It's about trailblazing a path of excellence. It's about engaging in the greater community. Above all, it's about helping you realize your dreams. Ignite your passion. Experience Prairie View A&M University.
What an episode. I want to give a big shout out to Jasmine. I want to give a big shout out to any of the other survivors out there. Anybody who's going through this situation, you are not alone. You don't have to be alone. You will get through this. And that's not just for survivors of this traumatic situation. That's survivors of whoever going through anything. This is for the breast cancer survivors, women who are dealing with breast cancer. Whatever life has thrown at you, this is not the end. You are not done. You are not finished. So keep fighting. Keep pushing. Keep living because there's more coming for you. This wasn't your last stop. This wasn't the end all be all for you. Just like Jasmine said, she doesn't exactly know who she is, but she can see it. She knows she's going somewhere. So take a little bit of that. You may not know exactly who you are right now, but you will. And just listen to what people are telling you because there's people around you who see who you are before you see it. And they're not just saying something to say it. They're giving you a revelation. So take heed and understand that although it's dark night, it's dark now. That light is coming. I want you to know it's about time. I want you to know it is time. Catch me next week.